So, welcome back. Another excerpt from the Nowhere Girls. Rachel has asked Eb to come, and she kind of has this fantasy that he's going to come rescue her from the home. But when he does come and they talk, she realizes he's not in love with her anymore, and he offers to marry her, but she doesn't want to marry him. She realizes that it was all just a fantasy, and kind of falls apart. So now she's back at the home. She's depressed. Obviously, the girls know, her friends know, but the people in charge of the home don't know. And one of the things that comes in this particular portion is her relationship with Elena, who's her roommate. Elena is Latina. She's the only non white person at the home. And eventually, Rachel realizes that the reason for that is because non white babies are just not they're not considered valuable, you might say, on the adoption market. There are reasons why an exception was made for Elena, and that also comes out later. But basically, Elena and Rachel don't get along, and they don't speak very often. And when they do, they're usually just muttering at each other. And each Rachel thinks Elena is just not a cooperative or pleasant person to talk to, and Elena has her own reasons for not really wanting to talk to anyone. And Rachel also suspects that Elena has stolen something, her watch, which is another thing that will come up down the road. I want to be like Kathy, careful to pretend, to get up, to go on as if nothing matters. People can do that. I don't know how, but they can. And then once you've done it, you're a different person. You're like most of the world, and the world takes you and bears you up, sort of, and you never have to look down again. I sit up, pushing the covers back from my legs, and there's a little flurry of spots from sitting up too fast. But when it passes, I go over to Elena's dresser. I've looked through her stuff a bunch of times since Adele's watch went missing. I guess it's possible she sold it. But in that case, she'd have money or something, and I never found any evidence of that either. The watch isn't the only thing that's gone missing. Other girls have missed stuff, too. Miss Patsy told us all at dinner one night to lock things up or give them to Miss Coates for safekeeping. I told her about the watch after that, and just like I thought, she said I never should have brought it in the first place. I pull the mattress up again as best I can, and then I take out the drawers one by one, looking behind and under them. Truthfully, there aren't a lot of places to look. We just don't have that many possessions, and there are certain places, like under the end table. Well, if I can't get down there, I don't think she could either. I never thought about it until now, but Elena doesn't have much to notice in her stuff. The kind of things you'd expect a person to have in their drawers. Wrigley's spearmint gum, an unopened pack of Oreos, Newports, all but one gone. The other drawer has a couple of letters from that Bakersfield address tucked under a pile of white socks. I don't read them. I'm not a snoop. Pictures, Frankie Avalon, Tommy Kirk, cut out of fan magazines. A card with the Virgin Mary, lines coming out all around her, and a rosary. I try not to touch this, not to even look at it. Not much else. No keepsakes, no favorite things, like Adele's watch was for me. And if you looked in my drawers now, what would you find? Folded socks, pictures of Paul McCartney. I close the drawer and notice the dresser itself is a little crooked, like something has fallen behind it. I put my hip against it and push out enough to reach an arm behind. I touch something hard, smooth plastic, and I know it's not the watch by the feel. A hairbrush, a disgusting old hairbrush with hair still caught in the brushes. Something else, something flat. A photograph, a school picture enlarged, a boy in a bow tie, smiling, staring into the distance. I don't think it has anything to do with Elena necessarily. It could be from a previous girl. It could be from a lot of previous girls. Some other Joe who never came. There are little specks of dust all over the surface. Studying it, I don't hear Elena come in. I look up and see her in the doorway. I don't want to act guilty, so I turn the photo towards her as if it's something purely something I found of interest and has nothing to do with rummaging through her things. Although I think Elena knows I go through her things, and she never says anything, which means she knows why I'm going through her things. Look what I found behind the dresser. Must have fallen back there, huh? She glances at it for the briefest moment, more in acknowledgement than interest, but I can't help asking, anyone you know? No. She pauses and then says, Miss Patsy says if you don't get up, she's going to call the doctor. Who's not up? I'm up. She's looking at me steadily, and I have a terrible thought that she feels sorry for me too, that she's wondering what I'm doing as much as I wonder what she's doing. I lean over a little and drop the photo into the wastebasket. Elena looks like she wants to go around me towards her side of the room, but I'm in the way, so she just stands there. Can I ask you something? I say. How come you never talk? An echo I don't like. Of third grade, fifth grade, girls turning to me in a group, coming out with something I'd never thought before, some observation about my clothes or my hair. She pushes her hair back, eyes away again. I've tried to be nice, haven't I? Another echo. Haven't I been nice? And you've never been anything but. I mean, Gloria was in tears. Did you know that? She came to me crying over Hero. Hero? Elena's face is set, like she's waiting something out. But this comes out quickly, puzzled. Gloria's puppy, the one she was. Oh, that. She turns her face. It barked at me. It barked sometimes. I don't think it was barking at you. Anyway, Miss Patsy would have found out sooner or later. And she wasn't supposed to have it. It was against the rules. But it wasn't hurting you. I don't care. She puts her chin down, stubborn. I don't care if any of you is nice to me or not. It doesn't make any difference to me. Same for you. She starts to walk around me towards her bed. Fine, I say. Screw you too. That's what you're supposed to say, I guess, when someone comes out with something like that. But I'm not sure I believe her. There was something in the way she said it, like it was something she'd long wanted to say, a kind of public statement, which I'm supposed to repeat to the others.